Welcome to The Explainer. If you've ever pictured yourself working from a laptop in some sun-drenched cafe in Spain, then you're going to want to stick around. Today, we are breaking down Spain's game-changing digital nomad visa, what it is, who actually qualifies, and the exact steps you need to take to make it a reality.
So this visa launched back in early 2023, and it didn't just create another option, it literally created a phenomenon. It just shot to the top of the charts, quickly becoming the #1 choice for remote workers looking to move to Europe. It's dominating all the global digital nomad lists.
And the numbers, well, they're pretty staggering. We're talking more than 28,000 people who have already gotten approved, packed their bags, and made the move. So this isn't some abstract possibility. It's a very well-trodden path with thousands and thousands of success stories.
Okay, so what does it actually take to be one of them? We've talked about the why, right? The dream. Now, let's get into the how. We're going to break down the entire journey, from the first requirements all the way to getting that Spanish residency card in your hand. Officially, you'll hear it called the Visa de Nomad Digital, or telework visa. It's built from the ground up for people like you, non-EU citizens who want to live in Spain but work for companies outside the country. And trust me, the benefits are what make this thing so special.
Let's just run through the highlights, because they're huge. First off, it's one of the fastest approvals in Europe. We're talking under a month, usually. You get to live and work in Spain for up to 5 years. You can bring your family. You get total freedom to travel across all 27 Schengen countries. Oh, and there's a massive tax break we're going to get to in a bit.
All right, let's get real for a second. This is the reality check. Before you start daydreaming about tapas and siestas, you've got to clear some very specific hurdles. Let's look at the 3 big ones: your income, your professional background, and, of course, the costs.
This right here is the magic number. It's the first and most important gate you have to pass through. You must be able to prove a steady monthly income of at least 2,762 euros. That number is based on 200% of Spain's minimum wage. It's completely not negotiable, so it's the very first thing you need to check.
Now, if you're planning on bringing your family, that income requirement goes up. For a spouse or a partner, you need to show an extra 1,035 euros a month. For every kid, you tack on another 345 euros. And here is a super important detail. The main applicant, that's you, has to meet this income level all on their own. You can't combine incomes with your partner to qualify.
Okay, next up, you have to prove you're a qualified professional. And you've got 2 ways to do this. You can either use a university degree, or you can show proof of at least 3 years of solid work experience in your field. Whichever way you go, your documents need 2 very specific things: an apostille, think of it like a global certification that makes it legit in Spain, and an official translation by a government-approved sworn translator.
So, beyond the money and the qualifications, here's the rest of the must-have checklist. Your employer has to be outside of Spain and needs to have been in business for at least a year. You need a clean criminal record for the last 5 years. You absolutely have to get full coverage private health insurance from a Spanish company, and you can't have been a tax resident in Spain anytime in the last 5 years. These are all total deal breakers, so you have to meet every single one.
So what's the price tag for all of this? Well, the minimum estimated cost to get your application done is just over 1,200 euros for one person. Now that number covers your government fees, all those document translations and certifications, and a full year of health insurance. It's definitely an investment, but honestly, it's pretty manageable compared to a lot of other long-stay visas out there.
Okay, so you've checked the boxes, you qualify. Now what? This part is your practical guide. Think of it as the roadmap that takes you from having a pile of papers to holding your shiny new Spanish residency card.
Looking at the big picture, you should probably plan for the whole thing to take about 2 to 4 months. The first month or 2 is all prep work, just gathering all your documents. The actual application and processing part is surprisingly fast, usually less than a month. Then the final few steps happen once you're actually on the ground in Spain. So that whole timeline really just boils down to 4 key milestones. First, gather and prepare everything. Second, you submit your application, and here's the cool thing, you can actually do this while you're already in Spain on a tourist visa. Third, once you're approved, you register your address at the local town hall. It's called empadronamiento. And the final step is getting your TIE card, which is your official resident ID.
Okay, listen up, because this is probably the single biggest mistake people make. You cannot, I repeat, cannot just use any old translator. The Spanish government requires what's called a traductor jurado, a sworn translator. If you use a standard translation service, your application will get rejected. Immediately, no questions asked.
So you've done it. You've navigated the whole process. Congratulations. Now let's talk about the reward. What is life actually like as a resident? And what about that incredible financial perk I mentioned earlier?
So, where's everybody going? No huge surprise, Barcelona is the #1 spot, grabbing over a third of all digital nomads. But Valencia is a really strong second, mostly because it has a lower cost of living. Madrid and Malaga are also super popular hubs, and each one offers its own unique vibe of culture, business, and, of course, sunshine.
And now for the grand finale, the Beckham Law. Nope, it's not just for soccer superstars anymore. This is a special tax program that digital nomads can apply for. And what it does, basically, is let you pay a much lower tax rate on all the income you earn from your job back home.
This amazing tax deal lasts for your first 6 years in Spain. But, and this is critical, there's a catch. The clock starts ticking the second you register for Spanish Social Security. You have a very strict 6-month window to apply for this. If you miss that deadline, the opportunity is just gone, forever.
And here's the payoff. Instead of paying Spain's normal progressive income tax, which can climb up to 45% or even higher, you pay a flat rate of just 24% for 6 straight years. Depending on your salary, this could literally save you tens of thousands of euros. It's maybe the most powerful reason to get this visa.
So, there you have it. A fast, clear-cut process, the chance to live and work in one of the most amazing countries in Europe, and a seriously powerful tax benefit. The path is laid out for you. The only real question left is Spain your next move?